Hey guys, welcome back to the Nexus Podcast. Today we are joined with Todd Kormanicki, the producer of Elf, the writer of Sully, and now the writer and director of Bonhoeffer. Todd, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm doing very well. It's great to meet you.
Great to meet you too. To begin with, what was the inspiration for telling Bonhoeffer's story? What attracted you to it initially?
I've been telling people that Bonhoeffer tracked me down and sort of grabbed me by the collar. I didn't know his story. I knew one of his books that I'd read in my 20s, but it was not someone that I was thinking about. And then I was sent a script to rewrite. And I read the script, and it was terrible. And one of the reasons it was so terrible is that Bonhoeffer was not the lead character in the movie called Bonhoeffer.
Hmm.
They had invented a character that was the
Oh,
lead character.
wow.
And in fact, they'd invented seven characters. And I said, you guys are not trusting uh, this man's life. Let me do a little research. So I looked into the guy and I thought, this man deserves a movie immediately. And it was so clear to me. So I went back to the folks that had sent me the thing to be rewritten. I said, if you guys are willing to start over from scratch and let me tell the story of the Bonhoeffer I'm discovering in his books and in the pages of history, then I'm in. And that's what happened. Dietrich Bonhoeffer is one of those people that when you meet him, you never forget his story.
Perfect. And were there any creative hurdles when approaching this film? I can imagine there might have been quite a few, and you already spoke about one previously.
Well, logistically, making the movie was exceptionally difficult. We were 43 days entirely on location in the winter in Northern Europe. Um, and I just was reminded earlier today that on the first day of shooting, I forgot my boots, and we were shooting in the cold forest, the muddy forest. And so the first 2 hours of my directing this movie, I did it in my socks. So it's like we're like, okay, well that's a running start. So I think we just had a lot of physical hurdles to overcome, but creatively, I had this incredible team. John Matheson, who is the cinematographer for two Gladiator movies, among many other things. He was my cinematographer. John Beard, extraordinary production designer, a bunch of great British actors as well to go along with the German cast. So I just knew that if I surrounded myself with enough creative geniuses, they'd make me look better.
Amazing. And the story of Bonhoeffer is an emotional and impactful one. It delves deep into the themes of courage, morality, and passion. And hats off to you for writing an incredible script and doing a great job
Oh, thank you
directing
so
it.
much.
No problem, man. It was honestly, it really touched me and a lot of others that have seen it and
That means
from
the
the
world to
reviews
me.
I've
Thank
seen.
you.
No, no problem.
Thank you.
And what did you personally take away from this tale? And did adapting this story enhance you as a person in any way?
No question, it enhanced me. I mean, when you meet people in history, and this happened with Sully too, when you meet people that are just better people than you are, you can pretend that you didn't meet them, or you can try to grow. And what Dietrich taught me was that courage is an everyday thing. That it's not just putting your life on the line. It's how you parent. It's how you love your spouse. It's the kind of person you are in community. That we can be brave every single day, all day long, and that it's not exhausting to be brave. It's actually empowering. And when we speak up on behalf of people that have been forgotten or othered, like Dietrich did for the Jewish population in Europe, when we speak on behalf of any group that's being oppressed, then we are empowered with the joy of giving, which is how the human animal was designed for it to feel good when we give. And we also want to do it more. I mean, it's really infectious. Being brave, being loving, being merciful, all these kind of things. The more you do it, the more you want to do it.
Mm, definitely incredible words. And for a question as we slowly start to end off, if you could go back in time to actually meet legendary Bonhoeffer and you could only ask him one question that would have potentially given you greater insight to his story, what would that question be and why?
What a spectacular question. Let me tell you something. I've been doing this nonstop for 3 months. That's the best question I've been asked. And no one
Thank you
has
so
asked
much.
that question.
I
That is
appreciate
a
it.
phenomenal question. What would I ask Dietrich? I think I would ask him what it felt like to be so at peace with dying. he wasn't at peace through the whole journey of his courage. And many times he tried to even want to walk away. He was offered escape. He went to New York and got out of Germany and could have lived a life, but he kept going back into the fire. But in the last moments of his life, in the last day and a half, he seems to have come to a deep and abiding peace. That in the Bible it's described the peace that passes understanding, and I love that. Sort of an undescribable peace. So maybe he couldn't describe it, but I would ask him what that feels like to be so centered in God's will, to be so centered and sure that you're doing the right thing for the right reasons. That must be a transcendent feeling. So I'd ask him, maybe he'd write me a poem about it.
Definitely. Great question. And to end off, what can audiences expect from Bonhoeffer and what do you expect them to take away?
Well, what I've been experiencing, I'm getting this huge surge here in America of letters from strangers that the Bonhoeffer they're meeting on screen is doing what Bonhoeffer did to me. And people saying, this movie woke me up. This movie said, okay, activate. It's one thing to have love as an abstraction, love your neighbor, but to go do it, to be a person of service, to stand up for the people that are being oppressed. There are plenty of people that need our voice today. And this is that kind of movie that kind of shakes you awake and go, okay, I want to activate. I want to go make the world a better place. And it's not drudgery. It's the reverse. So when you actually plug in and help your neighbor, you become more fully you. And also, we rebuild this broken world.
And to end off, if you could describe Bonhoeffer in 3 words, what would they be?
Fearless, vulnerable, and available. He made
Awesome.
himself available
Definitely.
to the call.
Definitely. That's all from me, Todd. Thank you so much for your time and congratulations on the film.
Thank you, Shan. Great questions. I wish that were
Thanks,
longer.
man.
You were super good.